Prince William and Catherine's Caribbean tour is not off to a great start. A palace spokeswoman issued a statement regarding cancellation of the first stop of their tour. The statement said, "We can confirm that due to sensitive issues involving the community in Indian Creek, the visit has been moved to a different location." The royals were planning to land on a football field in Indian Creek Village, but the locals weren't having it at all. The locals of the Indian Creek Village were out in full force protesting the visit and demanding their indigenous rights be upheld. Over 1,000 protesters gathered together to oppose the visit. They were also protesting against and likening the visit to colonialism. Prince William and Kate's first stop in Belize was going to be a sustainable cocoa farm. The visit was being made in conjunction with FFI, which stands for Flora and Fauna International, of which Prince William is a sponsor of. During the colonial era, the local village lost a legal battle over some 1,200 acres of land. Chairman and Mayor of the Indian Creek Village, Sebastian Shaw, made a statement on behalf of the indigenous peoples, stating, "We don't want them to land on our land. That's the message we want to send. They could land anywhere, but not on our land." One protester held up a sign which said, "Prince William, leave our land." Another sign said, "Colonial legacy of theft continues with Prince and FFI." An Indian Creek youth leader, Dionisio Shaw, also provided further clarity about the circumstances surrounding Kate and William's visit and why they were protesting. He said, "For us, it really hits right at home because of the treatment. The organizers said we had to let them use the football field and that people were coming to our village and it had to look good. But they didn't want to divulge who. Eventually, somebody said it was Prince William coming to our village. That's where the first issue arose. These are high-profile people. We respect them, but they also have to be giving respect to the community leaders. Giving community leaders commands did not sit well with the community. The locals' rights should be protected, and the palace should have made sure to inform these local community leaders about who was coming. Locals, such as the Indian Creek villagers, may see this as insulting if they are expected to maintain British culture and customs of celebrating and esteeming royalty. Let's remember now that royalty is a part of British culture and customs. British people and other European and Commonwealth nations respect and revere royalty. However, this idea of royalty is not part of the culture and customs of many other countries. If someone visits a country or village, they should respect the customs of that village. The royals may need to change their approach to visits and not expect to be treated like royalty when they travel. This is the second time that Prince William and Catherine made a trip together where protests were being made. They visited Quebec in 2011, where 300 anti-monarchy protesters held up signs saying, "Royal parasites go home." The protests were carried out by the Quebec resistance movement, and the signs and messages were a bit more crass than the local Indian Creek villagers. The news of protests against a royal family member's visit could very well be another sign showing how they are now being perceived, especially with the racist revelations made last year during Harry and Meghan's Oprah interview, which they have yet to publicly address. As I said in the last video, the royal family is going to have to make some drastic changes and eventually address their past history and involvement in colonialism. They'll need to figure out how their culture of royalty can continue on being relevant when faced with opposition. What do you think about the current opposition and protests surrounding Kate and William's visit to Belize, as well as their past visit to Quebec? Be sure to voice your thoughts in the comments below. Also, Royal Scoop family, please remember to subscribe and like this video. See you next time.